Well, what's interesting to me is we had talked about, I think this might be the kind of client the attorney said, no, we don't want you to testify. You've told your story twice. You can't make it any better. But even if that was or wasn't the advice, this was the kind of client that was going to testify. He was going to tell his story and tell his story. He did. I sure did like how the prosecution disposed of Jim McIntyre. I would submit, she said that a lot, can't find a person that doesn't exist. And that kind of took care of that issue, because you wonder, did they investigate? Did they look for Jim McIntyre? They didn't testify to that. Should they have? Should they have presented some kind of testimony that they attempted to find Jim McIntyre during the investigation and they didn't, Michael?
It bothered me that they didn't do that. I'm glad you brought that up, because here's the thing. The jury they're gonna look back and say, look, you expect me to believe that there was this Jim McIntyre guy, made you evasive, made you act the way you acted, and that was the explanation, but there was not even an attempt to find this Jim McIntyre. I think every single jury member will look at that as a linchpin as to why they're gonna convict this defendant, because it's way too shifty, it's way too evasive. You have a family member who's missing. You lied to her family about the fact that she had a stroke, she had sepsis. So I do think that their failure to do that, I feel like there were so many clumsy mistakes in the theory of the case. I think it could have been tighter. I'm not saying he'd be acquitted if they did that, but what usually brought up is one of the many points that bothered me about the theory of the defense.